Hello, my name is Neil Ellis. Welcome to In the Loop. I'm the IT director for the Wilmington Public Schools. With me today are Mark Morency, the network manager for the school district. Lisa Polito, she's the elementary technology integration specialist. And Carol Truly, who's a technology educator and integration specialist at the middle school. So I'll get right into it. Mark, would you like to give our viewers an insight into what we've been working on right now, what we will be working on, what we have been doing lately?
Sure, yeah. I joined the school system back in September and been fortunate enough to work on several projects that have really sort of pushed the ball forward on some technology initiatives that we wanted to accomplish. The first item that we took care of was the upgrade of the mail server to Exchange 2010. This was sort of it was a necessary upgrade just to keep current with the technology that's offered, increase some of the storage. At the same time, we also put that together with establishing a new virtual platform for us to move our servers to, so that it would sort of position ourselves in the future to move to more cost-effective and stable environments for us to store our servers on.
Actually, you know what? Let me back up a bit, because I just realized that I should probably explain what the organization that inside the school district that Mark and I and Lisa all sort of work under, which is the Office of Information Technology. We're charged with operating all the equipment inside the district, all of the installation software, computers, printers, anything technology related, you name it, we do it. And there are four additional members of the Office of Information Technology who aren't here today, but they all do a ton of work every day. Inside of that is sort of encompasses what Lisa does, which is elementary integration of technology into lesson plans on a daily basis, and she works with teachers. She schedules with teachers to work one-on-one with them to use new technology that we have in district, stuff that comes in that's new, to kind of work that into the curriculum, into their lesson plans, and get the technology down to the kids so that the kids can learn what they are going to need to know in the future. So Mark's role is to really combat all of our problems daily on the network level and the server level, and introduce new software and hardware to help the teachers and students. So that was kind of long-winded, but there you go. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I think it plays into exactly what I'm going to be talking about. And like you said, one of my functions is to sort of act as the gatekeeper for the network and to make sure that we are protected and that the organization is running smoothly as far as the IT aspects are concerned. So upgrading the mail server was certainly part of that, just to make sure there was enough storage space for everybody who needed accounts or email, and to sort of introduce new technologies that would that we could take advantage of in the future as we move forward with in other areas, I should say. One of these elements that we're always concerned with is security, and that's something else that I've been involved with recently, was an initiative to sort of tighten down the security of the school system as far as user passwords and user security. One of the things that I think is important to help people understand, especially when it comes to user passwords, is that we're not just trying to protect the organization from people outside the organization, but we're trying to get people to realize that their password is a level of personal protection, so that we can have accountability for what's going on with individual user accounts. Recently we had a spam email that infiltrated our system from another school district down in South Carolina. And that, that was able to get past of our security systems because it came from a legitimate account that was compromised by a bad password. So we don't want that to happen to our school. We don't want to have one of our accounts compromised and send out this type of email. So locking it down, getting secure passwords, making sure nobody is posting the password on their office computer, which is a common thing that people do.
Right.
That will all prevent these types of things from happening. So it really starts with the small things. So that's I think is probably one of the most important things that we're working on this year.
How are teachers and administration staff, how are they getting along with the changes?
I think there's always some level of difficulty adopting new procedures after you've had the same one in place for such a long time. But so far, it's been phenomenal. The feedback has been good. People found the process fairly easy. People were able to change their own passwords and get accustomed to this procedure fairly well. So it's been no problems across the board.
So would it be possible for, say if someone left their password on the computer, would it be possible for, say, a student to get into, a system where they could change their grades or something like that?
I think that would be pretty difficult for them to do. Is it possible? I would say anything is possible, but I would say that would be extraordinarily difficult for someone to do without some sort of knowledge about how these systems work. There are separate passwords for the system that runs the school grades and the attendance and things like that. So you can get into the system. They would have access to possibly confidential documents, which is why we're trying to lock this stuff down.
Right.
We don't want people...
It's limited.
Yeah, exactly. They're segmented, and they're segmented for that reason.
Right, okay. But their email would be...
Well, exactly, and if somebody were to log into your account, use your email to send something malicious to another organization, well, we're tracking that back to that computer. And ideally, only the person who uses that computer should have that access. Right. And that's where the accountability comes in. Right.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about the X2 system, Aspen system that we're going to be implementing.
Yeah, that's actually a great uptick for us. It's something that you've been really, really waiting for, I know. You spend so much of your time working on just maintaining the current student information system. X2 is going to be an externally hosted system. It's going to require less of our own resources to monitor and maintain. It's going to be secure. I think it's going to provide more robust parental portals for parents to get in and look at their students or their children's grades, maybe even homework assignments, things of this nature, just to really have an understanding and knowing what's going on day to day. And the way it tracks this information is much better than the current system we have now. Right. And all those are just big improvements, and I think it's a great tool to have available. So,
one of the things we're trying to do is bring tools to the teachers that they can access anywhere, and this will allow them to do that since it is web-based. They can do grading online, which they can do now, but this system is definitely an improvement. And we always want to reach out to parents in the district, give them as much information as we can on what's going on with their child in the school. This system allows we haven't implemented it yet. We haven't really worked out. It will be available, but the system allows for a portal it's essentially a family portal. So you would be able to log in and see if you have 1 or 2 or 3 kids. You'd see all of their information all in one login instead of having to go to 3 different places and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the way it works now is each school has a separate portal. Is that correct?
Each school, well, the way it works right now, we never actually opened up the parent portal, so there's no ability for parents to access their child's information online. But we're going to be we'll be working towards that.
It's great.
So, but you're right, it is sort of building based right now, and definitely the way the student information is kept right now is all in one big database, but it's segregated by school. So yeah, you're right. You can't, if you were to look up something by a family code, you'd have to go to another school's database and look it up that way. It doesn't work very well.
That's good. And that assists in the adoption rate for parents. I mean, if they only have one link to go to, it's going to show them their entire family.
Right.
You know, it's more likely they're going to be more involved in looking at it.
One username, one password.
Sure.
Yep. So we've also, actually I could talk about this a little bit. We just implemented a project to install projectors at the middle school. They're mounted on the ceiling of every classroom there. So the teacher will have a projector projecting on the back whiteboard of the room, where they can either write over the projection or they can project movies from their computer. It's all hooked up to their computer. They could go on virtual field trips through the computer and project that on the wall. There are all sorts of interactive things for kids to do from the computer using the projector. It's a great bonus for the school that we were able to do that this year, and the superintendent really invested in our getting the projectors in the middle school. So that's finishing up now. We're hooking those up, and we've got half of them online, and we'll expect to get the next half up by the beginning of next week. So, is there anything else?
Yeah, we have that. We have a big fiber project coming in.
Got a big fiber project coming up. We're going to be networking all of our schools in the district via a fiber optic loop, which will allow us to connect all of the buildings at essentially the speed of light. It's light transmitted digital information.
Yeah, right now the system we have in place is working. I mean, it connects us, and we were able to get that exchange of information across, to the different schools, but it's at a much slower, older, outdated medium. And this is going to vastly improve.
It's unreliable.
Yeah, that too. This is going to vastly improve what we can do with our wide area network. I mean, right now we have computers located at each school for files and logging into the computer and just maintaining our wide area network. If we wanted to in the future with this fiber loop, we could pull back all those into one centralized location so that all this data is in one place and everybody comes to the same location to access it. Much easier to manage, much better as far as maintenance costs and hardware costs.
Great. So we're going to move along to the kind of the educational portion and give Mark a break here. Up next is Lisa Ippolito, who's our elementary technology integration specialist. Like I said earlier, she works with teachers on a daily basis to integrate technology into their lesson plans, into the things that they already do on a daily basis, just kind of everything they do on a daily basis on steroids with technology. So Lisa, why don't you let us know a little bit about what you're doing now and how that integrates with maybe some of the state standards and how that works.
Great. Well, the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks for technology were adopted in April of 2008, and Wilmington is one of the first districts who are truly innovators in their integration of technology into their current curriculum. And so my role is to look at those standards and help teachers integrate technology in their day-to-day lessons. And those framework standards basically fall under 3 different categories, from kindergarten to grade 5, because that's my area where I work. One of them being presentation. The other standard focuses on ethics and internet safety. And the last one is basically integration of word processing, presentation software, and spreadsheet software. And so we've been having a great time in the classrooms, working with the students, kindergarten through grade 5, doing different projects, and they're always so happy as they learn a new skill in the computer lab, and the teachers are picking up those skills readily, and we're moving right along.
So what projects have you been working on lately? I understand you had a Word document project.
Yes, some of the students were working on the standards that cover word processing. So we used Microsoft Word. And a lot of teachers started off by creating report covers.
What grade is this that we're talking about?
We're talking 1st through 5th grade. And so here's an example, a student, and so the skills we practice were increasing font size, centering, importing a picture. And so the students just thought that was the best thing, you know, to create their own report cover and have it look so fancy.
And how young do students do stuff like change font size and?
1st grade.
Great.
1st graders. And it's amazing how quickly they catch on and they're able to create projects at home. And oftentimes they'll come back to school and they'll find me in the hallway and they'll say, oh, you know, look what I created after, you know, our lab lesson on Microsoft Word or what have you. So it's been great. It's been really great. Another software that we use would be Microsoft PowerPoint. And a lot of teachers implement that for report writing and also their own, you know, teaching practices. And so here's an example of one student, and the skill that we focused on for this activity was, again, font size, color, and also, as you can see on this first slide, the students learned, and this is a 3rd grade class, Mrs. Flaherty's class. They learned how to take a picture, increase the size of the picture, and then tuck it behind the words on the screen. And so they all loved doing that, and so many of those projects ended up having lots of pictures sent to the back, as we call it. And in this project, our 3rd graders report on animals and their different habitats and such. And so it takes the place of those traditional handwritten reports. And it also benefits all students, especially those with special needs who maybe have a difficult time with their fine motor skills. And so it gives everyone a nice final finished product. And they did a really great job.
Great. Now there's PowerPoint. Are there any other? This comes under the tech standard of a demonstration technology.
Yes.
And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and there are many other programs that our teachers are using, such as Prezi and Glogster and several others. Right.
I know Carol
but this is like
uses Glogster
quite a bit.
Right.
Right.
Brenda Lamano does at the middle
right.
school.
And then we also continue in the Microsoft family. We kind of start with the Microsoft family because it's most familiar and common.
It's accessible too.
And accessible, and we have it on all of our desktops and in our computer labs. And so it's just a natural starting point for our students. And here's an example of Microsoft Excel. And this is a 1st grade class. And what we did was we talked about merging cells. That was one strand that we covered, importing pictures. And we also integrated technology again by talking about our short vowel sounds. And so they were charged with trying to find a picture to match the short vowel sounds.
Oh, great.
And so it was very creative, and they got to have their own flair to their pictures. And
it's very difficult to integrate a spreadsheet, but that's a great way.
It is, and they loved it. And the great part is, too, most of the teachers will do a lesson together, and then they'll extend that lesson in their next lab class and throughout the school year. So that's always great to see, too. And then in our 4th and 5th grade, we worked on a project using Photo Story 3, which is basically they're making their own movies. And what they did was we started off using Google, and the students did a Google image search for their pictures, and then we saved those into their own folders. And then from there, we opened Photo Story 3, and the students were able to import their pictures, add captions, add titles. We can't hear the voice, but they recorded. So this is basically a movie that they narrated over.
It's like a documentary the kids
made.
So what age were the kids that made this?
4th and 5th graders at the West Intermediate School.
That's pretty impressive for documentary, type film photo story for that age.
Yeah, they were very impressed with themselves, and I know that several of the teachers have now taken Photo Story 3 and adapted it for other areas of the curriculum as well. This happened to be a biography that they were
Great.
working on.
So I hit a lot of the standards too, with science and the writing portion and
Exactly.
yeah. Wow,
Exactly.
it's wonderful.
And on top of that, as you already know, we our teachers have been trained in the use of the Mimeo, which is an interactive whiteboard. We've just received a Mimeo Vote, which is a clicker system. So we started training at the North using the Mimeo Vote. So that allows students to, share their knowledge, do basically what we call a performance assessment, like right after a lecture has been done. So a teacher can check their knowledge on that content and inspiration. And I mean, we're just using so many different softwares and integrating it into technology.
Yeah,
and
you're
it's
fired
just,
up.
I love
Yeah.
it. The teachers
Awesome.
love it. The kids love it. It's
Yeah,
all
it
it's
is
all
fun.
it's all great.
Let me move along to, thank you, Lisa. That was great.
You're welcome, Neil.
We're going to move along to Carol, who I mentioned before is a tech ed
Computer
teacher.
literacy.
No, it's not really. It's technology teacher at the middle school, and she's been doing a lot of stuff in her lab with cyberbullying and integrating a lot of the video and technology into something that the whole school district's been trying to get behind, which is to combat bullying. So go ahead, Carol.
Okay. Well, it started back in 2007, 2008 when the middle school started to implement the second step lesson plans across the grades. And the second step program is a research-based anti-bullying and violence prevention program, and where we about 6 times a year we have building-wide lesson plans and activities that are conducted. And after the first year that we were implementing this second step program, Brenda Lamano and I, the integration specialist, decided to get together and figure out a way that we could actually bring these lessons to the computer literacy lab. So we decided to create a web page. Then we decided to go one step further, and we decided that we might like to make some public service announcements. But there was only one problem: we didn't have a camera. So we applied for the Wilmington Foundation Educational Grant. It was a $500 prize if you were to win it, and we were the lucky winners. And we got our flip camera, and as a result, our 8th graders have gone on to create 4 videos that we have posted up on our website. But anyways, Mrs. Lamano and I enjoyed working with the video so much that we put in for another grant through the MassQ, which is the Massachusetts Computer User Educators, and we won $1,000 for some green screen technology. And it just came on board. We have a green screen, we have the stand, we have the portable lighting, we got a 20-pack bundle of software for the lab, and of course, as you know, we have 27 computers in my computer lab, and we were 7 short, so we asked Neil Ellis, the technology director, and Christine McMinimum if they could come around with an extra $200 to outfit the entire lab, which they did, so we're all set to go at the moment. Well, anyways, why don't we just show you the last video that the students completed in December of 2010 by a group of 8th graders. Now, this was raw video footage that was taken, and each of the students worked individually to create their own movie where they had the responsibility for editing, mixing music. They had to do the original artwork and title pages. So here it is. It's called Words Hurt.
Where did your mommy braid your hair for you this morning?
Yeah, that do look good if you're 2 years old. What a freak.
Does anyone have the answer for number 10? Okay, class is dismissed. We'll finish up tomorrow.
Dirtbag, you have to raise your hand for every question.
Yeah, keep your arms down. You're stinking up the place.
You're such a pathetic loser.
So as you can see, the 8th graders did a terrific job. If you're interested in seeing any of our other projects, you can go to the Wilmington Middle School webpage, www.wilmington.k12.ma.us, and from the navigation bar at the top, click on the middle school, and on the left-hand side, you'll see a link that'll bring you to our second step webpage / videos.
Great. So I do want to mention a couple of the people who contributed to the equipment for some of these rooms. The Wilmington Education Foundation, who's spent a lot of time and raised a lot of funds for the for us and the school districts, and school district, and has put a lot of money into technology for us. They actually just had a fundraiser on Friday, which I came down with a cold and wasn't able to attend, unfortunately. But I heard it went really well. So thank you to WEF. The Danvers Savings Bank actually contributed to the Renzulli, which we didn't have time to mention today, which is a great program that we're using in the schools. And the Wilmington Rotary donated funds for the Mimeo Interactive. It's like a interactive whiteboard that Lisa mentioned earlier. We just purchased 4 of those from Rotary funds, so we definitely appreciate their donations. And the School to Business Partnership does a lot with us as well. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching In the Loop with me, Neil Ellis, Mark Morency, Lisa Polito, and Carol Truly.